Namaste. How are all of you and how are you celebrating your Navratri? So welcome to this special series of Navratri, and we are starting with a very important topic on fasting. Well, these days people are getting extremely confused with whether their traditional fasting is similar to the current trend of fasting. So we call it the weight loss fasting because the current trend of fasting is completely geared towards weight loss. That's just one of the ways in which it stands apart from our traditional fasting. So what really is traditional fasting and how do we know traditional fasting? So traditional fasting is called as Upavas, and Upavas in Sanskrit essentially means being close to a higher reality or being in close proximity to self-realization. The realization in Upavas, it's like the Upanishad, so Upa is constantly something that you say to signify proximity or so Upavas, essentially the realization here is that the body is an aging and perishable entity and can we really go beyond this perishable entity to find the imperishable, the common stuff, the stuff that unites all of us together as a society and as a community and as the globe together. So it's really about giving up on what sets us apart from each other and coming closer together as one. So that's really the higher reality of Upavas. Weight loss fasting is plain and simple. It's the new method to restrict calories and achieve the end goal of weight loss. All right, but this time to restrict calories and to achieve weight loss, they aren't using terms like sirf protein khao or carb chodo blah blah blah. What they are doing is now identified as something which is called as cultural appropriation. You pick up on an aspect which is deeply entrenched in the culture, you dress it to sell weight loss, and then you tell your target audience that this is something that you were always doing. This is well known now. This phenomenon is called cultural appropriation. All right, so this is about the name, yeah, and the common, yeah, what is it? All right, so this is really about what it is, and now we are on what are the common names. So Upavas comes in many names. You have Navratri. So Navratri is one of the names. You have Ramzan. Then you have Lent. You have Pajushan. You even have things like Aaj mera Somvaar hai, Aaj mera Shukravar hai, Aaj mera whatever ka vrat hai. You have Ekadashi. You have many kinds of Upavas. When it comes to weight loss fasting, however, the common names in which it goes is TRE, which is time restricted eating, or it goes by the name of IF, which is intermittent fasting, or it simply goes by the name fasting. All right. So this is the difference between the names. Now we go on. What is it really based on? Yeah. So what is the Upavas really based on? So the Upavas is based on the season and it is mostly based on the moon cycle. Moon cycles, or it could be a celebration of a season. That is typically what a traditional fast is based on. Weight loss fast, on the other hand, is simply based on your body weight, and now you even have AI targeted apps which even do things to your body shape. ये shape है तो आपको क्या fast करना चाहिए, वो shape है तो आपको क्या fast करना चाहिए. It's got nothing to do with the waxing and waning of the moon. It has to do with the waxing and waning of the body weight. So that's a difference there. Another very, very important difference between traditional fasting and weight loss fasting is how it views food. So here, Anna is Brahma, the ultimate reality, something which allows us to explore what is out there beyond everything that limits us. That is food, really. So we see it as a blessing, and we see it as an offering to the divine, and also something that you get from the divine. That is how food is viewed. Here, it's the plain old stuff. You measure it, you measure it, you divide it as protein, carb, and fat. That's all that there is in here. I hope you're recognizing how this is exactly like any other kind of weight loss trend that you must have been on, or you must have believed, or you must have heard about. Now, what does this include? What does traditional fasting include? Traditional fasting includes discipline. What? Oh, okay, now you know I'm dyslexic, huh? And that I couldn't have gotten anywhere in my life without a good editor. Okay, so it includes discipline. Discipline is something that traditional fasting includes. It includes eating a diverse diet, eating things that you would typically not eat. So the jhangora, kheer, the kuttu puri, the rajgeera atta, eating more nuts, eating more milk products, eating sondals, eating things that we typically in our day-to-day life do not eat. It also includes devotion. So it will come with the ritual of praying, of reading spiritual texts, of doing bhajan, kirtan, all those kind of things. You know, it includes, so discipline, diversity, and devotion is something which are really the pillars of traditional fasting. Weight loss fasting, on the other hand, simply includes going hungry between 16 to 20 hours and various drinks like caffeine, chai, smoothies, etc., to get you through long periods of hunger. So that's again a major difference out there. Now, if you look at the duration of a traditional fast, it comes like if you look at Ramzan, maybe about 30 days. The other ones like Lent, Pajushan, Navratri, somewhere between a week to 15 days. And Ekadashi would probably be a day once every fortnight. So these are limited in time. They come for a very short period of time, and mostly what they do is that they also bring about community solidarity. Okay, it is about coming together and celebrating something together. Oh yeah, in foods also, traditional fasting includes a whole lot of celebratory foods, all right? So from sabudana khichdi to sabudana vada to things which are specially made only on the day of the fast. I think a lot of you may probably then make chana puri halwa. I think that's the latest celebratory food which will come in the category of traditional fasting. What about weight loss? Weight loss fasting wants you to adopt it as a lifestyle. So almost kind of, you know, it's of course not for a short period of time. You're supposed to be doing it all the time. And even after doing it for, let's say, 2 months, you fasted for 16 hours. After 2 months, you don't see the results that you want to do. You need to fast for 20 hours, you know. So the fault is always with you, because all that you're chasing here is weight loss. You're not really chasing anything else. Now, how long is traditional fasting really popular? Traditional fasting is an age-old practice. We don't know how old it is. It has probably always been there. This comes in the category of what is called as a living tradition. A living tradition is something which goes on forever. Like, let's say, bringing Ganpati home, doing a Durga Puja. These are all living traditions. Weight loss fasting, on the other hand, is something which started in 2012 and has been popular over the last couple of years. You already can see many studies out there which are showing how this leads to loss of lean body weight, and therefore just losing weight is not beneficial for health, because losing weight should never come at the cost of health, something which you all already know. But this is age old, this is living tradition. That's something which started only in 2012. And now more importantly, and I think this is where it really, who is it propagated by, you know? So कौन अपने को बताता है कि ट्रेडिशनल फास्टिंग अपने को करना चाहिए? It's almost like no one tells you. So it's like a silent tradition. It's a non-binding tradition. You don't have to be doing the fast to belong to a community, a family, a household, or a society, or whatever. There are always people who even do, let's say, an Ekadashi, or if they just had khali vrat ka food and didn't have their normal dal chawal, they have case they don't do those kind of fasts. So it's a silent and a non-binding tradition, and it is a grandmom tradition. Your grandmother tells you whether you can fast or you cannot fast, and which fast you must do and which one you shouldn't do. Weight loss fasting, on the other hand, is loud, and you will find a lot of noise on social media about it, and you will find it propagated by apps and influencers. Okay, so these are just some of the stark differences between the tradition of fasting and weight loss fasting. As my closing remarks, all that I would like to do is remind you that India is the country of yoga, and in the tradition of yoga, Hatha Yoga Pradipika clearly says that a yogi shouldn't fast. A yogi, a true yogi, doesn't fast. To clean his body, he takes a bath, brushes his teeth, and keeps his mind full of pure thoughts. That's the tradition of yoga. It says no to fasting. Celebrate your Navratri. Celebrate with celebrate it with all your diverse foods. Have a good time eating. Enjoy what you're eating. Share it with everyone, and lead a healthy, happy life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.